After doing some diligent research, I decided to leave my previous home warranty company and I decided on Select. That was in April. I made the phone call, I paid the full premium, and I never received anything via email. So come June, I reached out. I asked, I said, I never received a receipt. I got their phone number off of my billing statement. And so I was sent an email with a contract. I probably should have got the contract before we had this conversation, but I'll pull it up on my phone. Um, I looked over the contract, didn't see any problems, first time customer, no issues. I proceeded to file a claim. The first initial claim was denied because they told me the spigot that is attached to the outside of my home is not covered. Couldn't understand why. It's all the same water. I let that go. I filed another claim for my HVAC unit. The contractor came out. I paid my deductible. Now, mind you, in all of these conversations that I've had with customer service reps, no mention of a 3-month, 90-day um, caveat is mentioned. I called a third time to file a claim for my pool, and I do believe that was in August. I spoke with a representative just to make sure that it was covered because it just seems as if all the other times I called about simple things, it wasn't covered. So I just wanted to make sure that it was covered. They confirmed that it was covered. They said that they would open the claim and dispatch um, a service tech. After almost about a week, they sent me a message, told me to find my own person. So I did. I got a pool company to come out, do the estimate, let me know how much it was going to cost. It's going to cost over $600 to fix my pool. I gave him authority to speak with Select. He called me and said, "Hey, you might want to talk to them because they're talking about they're only going to cover 150." I'm like, "What are you talking about? That's not what my contract states." So I call them and I get a representative who proceeds to tell me that in a particular section in my contract, it's like 10.1, 10.7 something. I'm going to pull it while we're talking. That within the first 90 days of my contract being in effect, that I'm only eligible for up to $150. And I'm like, that's not what the contract you sent me says. They said, oh, well, you have the wrong contract. The contract that I have was for people who enrolled after June. Not my problem. Based on this contract, there is verbiage that says that this contract is binding and that nothing before it matters. Like, oh no, let me send you a new contract. I told them you cannot send me a different contract in the middle of a claim. You can't do that. So we went back and forth. They proceeded to tell me that they were only going to still cover $150. So of course I asked to speak with a manager, which a manager did call me, and he was extremely rude. He wound up hanging up on me, but calling back and saying that he didn't hang up on me. That's why he called back. He didn't want me to think that. And I was like, no, that's exactly what I thought. So in the middle of our conversation, he got real abrasive, cut me off, and was like, pretty much take this $150 or leave it. And I was like, no, I need your supervisor. And he hung up on me again. So I filed a claim with the Better Business Bureau, and we've been going back and forth. They're still standing on this whole $150. Now, the contract that I'm looking at currently, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on and read it to you, states nothing per what they stated. So after going back and forth with them, the Better Business Bureau closed the case because they said we could not come to a resolution and gave me some other options on how to proceed with this. Well, just the other day, they had the nerve and audacity to send an email to the Better Business Bureau and say I forged the document and listed all of the times I logged into the website. Every time I logged into the website. Now, remember, I mentioned I had 3 claims. I logged in 3 times. In order to file the claim, you have to do the claim online. So those are claims that I initiated. And they literally said I forged a document. I was like, you have got to be absolutely kidding me. So I turned around and I forwarded the email. I'm gonna put my glasses. I forwarded the email directly, the one they sent me in June, to the Better Business Bureau. I'm waiting to hear back from them in regards to that. But this company has gone above and beyond to negate their responsibilities as far as this contract is concerned. So they keep leading me to 10.1 in my contract. Now, this is the one that they initially sent me. And 10.1 reads as follows. This is the selects liability. It says dimensions, brands, and color limits. Select will not be responsible for matching a system or appliance's color, brand, or dimensions, and only is responsible for repairing and or replacing systems or appliances of similar builder's grade. The following guidelines will be implemented to provide a repair replacement allowance for heating or cooling equipment, HVAC. The repair replacement allowance is $3,000. For appliances, plumbing, and electrical not heating or cooling, the repair replacement allowance is $500. For additional coverage options, the repair replacement allowance is $400. If Freon coverage is selected as an option, the limit is $200. Furthermore, you agree that during the first 30 days of coverage, no coverage will be provided for the replacement of entire systems or appliances or evaporator coils, condenser coils, compressors, control boards, motors, any kind. Is all that my 10.1 states. And then I keep bringing to their attention that, let's see, in section 1, it states, this agreement is a legally binding document between you and Select. This agreement constitutes the entire and only agreement between you and Select. This agreement supersedes all prior or contemporaneous, I probably slaughtered that word, but anyway, agreements, representations, warranties, and understandings between you and Select. This agreement provides your home service contract agreement. Yes. This agreement provides for, home service contract services only and should not be confused with an insurance contract. Your home service contract remains with the covered property and cannot be transferred to a different home except as provided under the transfer of agreement section below. This agreement covers household appliances and systems when they become inoperable due to normal wear and tear. This agreement sets forth all of the household appliances and systems covered under this agreement and the specific items that are excluded from coverage. In the event an appliance or system is not mentioned in this agreement, it will not be covered under this agreement. Please read the entire agreement before retaining the services of Select, which I did. Now, let me explain to you the funny part about the pool. So they said within the first 90 days, that claim was filed one day before the 90-day mark. So if my contract had stated that anything done within the first 90 days was only eligible for $150, would I not wait until the day after to call and file the claim? And I keep telling them, like, I'm not stupid. I would not call you within 90 days to only get $150. I wait until my contract, like you're not making any sense. So with that being said, my pool, I'm still waiting to be compensated actually for my pool because I had to get my pool fixed. I'm still waiting to be compensated. We are going back and forth and they still want to stand on the contract that they just sent me via email. And Sarah, her name is Sarah. Sarah's the person who sent the email to the Better Business Bureau stating that it was forged. I'm like, okay. They sent it in November and I refused to download it. So I have to find the email. So in their section of 10.1, which states the selects liability, they're stating, so remember I said after the first, okay, so after $3,000, after the first 3 months of for appliances, non-heating or cooling, First 3 months, a $150 repair replacement allowance will be paid to the customer. The repair placement, now this $150 repair replace is placed into the contract, which again was not in the original contract that they sent me. So it's like they plopped it in after each segment. So HVAC, $500, $150. After 3 months, the $150. So this was not in the contract. And I'm like, you cannot send me a quote unquote new contract in the middle of a claim. My name is on it. My policy number is on it. Okay. The effective date is on it. How are you going to change it in the middle of a claim because you don't want to pay for my pool? Oh, well, you got the wrong policy. Well, that's not my problem. You need to train your people better. But according to what I have, what we have is legally binding and you cannot change it. So that's where we are currently disputing. I'm being called a fraud by Select. Um, and I want justice for this because this is absolutely ridiculous. I want Select to take responsibility for the fact that you sent me a contract. You need to honor the contract. Now, I've put out the money to have my pool replaced. I need to be compensated for having my, not the pool, but the motor. I need to be compensated for having the motor replaced in my pool. I mean, I haven't even gone as so far as to have them reimburse me for my deductible as of yet, because I don't want them to think that any of this is okay. I'm not okay with anything that's going on right now. So they need to go ahead and honor it. And they need to honor it for the full term of this contract. You don't get to switch my contract in the middle of the contract.